On to item number 9, that's gonna be our director's updates. Miss Wendy, you're up.
Okay, once again, just trying to update you and keep you abreast of happenings at DSS. We do have our MDT meeting on the 17th at 11 o'clock. We have our law enforcement meeting on the 17th as well at 3:30. Just kind of keeping you abreast of the shelter operations. We have had one, initially we were on standby, then we did a shelter. We pulled, it was tough, but we did 24-hour shifts for the shelter. That went really well. We did not have any residents that came to the shelter, but we were prepared and we were there, and I feel like the whole process in itself went very smooth. Emergency management, they kept me abreast of what they were doing. There were discussions, there were constant communication, and I feel like that went great. I feel after Helene, it helped us prepare, really kind of getting, going forward. So it was all really scary, and the thoughts of having to do it again, but overall we were in a much better place and much more prepared. So I'm thankful for that run through again. So I'm grateful we didn't have to have anyone there, but we did it, and it went smoothly. So we were on standby for the first one, and then we actually set up the shelter, and then we were on standby again. So just kind of let you know that's 3 times that possibility or it's happened. So it's gone very well, the process.
Did you feel
Yeah.
like the 24-hour shifts were good, or do you think a 12-hour shift might have been more manageable?
The reason I met with my leadership team and Andrew and Brian, we talked about that. The whole idea behind this event for 24 hours is just the weather. So we opened the shelter that day at 11. So I thought if I did a 12-hour shift, that was going to put people leaving at 11 o'clock that night.
Oh, gotcha.
And with the weather, I was just like, that it's not going to work. So that's why I was just trying to keep my staff from traveling at night. And for some of them, we had to have assistance with law enforcement and various other people to help transport to get them to and from. And I just was trying to keep them off late nights and that kind of thing. But I think each event, Harley, will be kind of discussed.
Okay, I got you.
And not every shift is going to be a 24-hour shift. It was just this particular event. I was just trying to make the best call for staff. And I think Andrew and the team, they shared that they felt like that was the best thing I could have done as well. So yeah, it was, it was good for my staff who didn't participate in the shelter before. A lot of them were assigned in different places throughout the community later. And they didn't have the opportunity to actually be in the shelter like I did. So I think it was good for them to actually see like supply set up and registration and, kind of be there, and the cots and that kind of thing. So, I feel like the more practice with that, the better we'll be and more efficient. So. But yeah, each time it's gonna hopefully be more of an 8 to 12-hour shift. So yeah. Energy assistance, I like to keep you informed of our remaining balances and what we're able to do for the community with that. Just for your awareness, for this year, 2026, we received $81,369. Last year, we received $113,000. So you can see they cut that quite a bit for us. So right now this is for our CIP. So this is our crisis intervention program. We have $874 left. So with our LEAP, that's our low income energy assistance, we received $126,000. And last year in LEAP, we received $86,000. So we got more for LEAP this year than it was kind of flipped. But our remaining balance for LEAP is $8,555. So we're still holding pretty good in that.
I think that'll cover you for the rest of the year.
Well, I hope. And with our CIP, sometimes we can request, it's CIP that we can request, yeah, additional dollars sometimes. So a lot of times they'll see a county that's not using those dollars and they'll send an email out to say, does anyone need these extra dollars? And we can request those if need be. So we do have that option too for CIP, but that balance, I mean, it's, pending no more cold snaps and ice storms and, but we're in about almost mid-February, so
Got about 6 weeks left,
yeah.
hopefully.
So I'll just like to keep it on this.
You usually active on one more. First of March, usually in February. You got another option. Groundhog. They groundhog.
Willard was in April, 9/3, I think, last one, okay. So that's all as far as the announcements that I have, unless you guys have some questions, if not, I can move into the numbers. So the total number in foster care, we have 27. And our, kind of going through these quickly too, our basic foster care, we have 11. And our 3 in therapeutic foster care. And 5 in our level 3 group home. So as you see, it's, we have the needs, how they kind of fluctuate there. We have 20 of those 27 children placed out of county for various reasons. We currently have 0 families in the training process. So as you know, that worker retired at the end of January. So we are in process of filling that position, and we have big interviews on Friday. So we're looking to fill that position soon. So the supervisor for that has gone through the training, the MAP training, and various trainings to allow her to train foster parents. So hopefully we can get this rolling again soon. So let's see. If you'll flip on over to the next page, we'll look at the CPS reports. January, as you can see, was a pretty heavy month. We received 18 reports. 12 of those were screened in. And 17 of those continue to be open. In our in-home case management, we have 1 family currently open and in-home. A new one anyway, and we're still working 2 others, so that's 3 total. And then if you'll skip on down to the APS, we had 6 reports with APS. And the service intakes, we had 1. And our representative payee, this is where we manage their finances and help pay their bills and their meds and all that sort of thing. We have 17. And we currently have 14 in guardianship. And we have 83 children receiving daycare subsidy right now. You have any questions about the numbers?
No questions.
Okay.
Well, maybe come up and get our numbers.
Good evening. Good to see you guys, gals. Just gonna hit our financials real quick. As of the end of January, we're looking at 7 months of expenses that are on the books. And at this time of year, we should be at 58% of our budget, and we are riding at 53%, all programs. That makes me happy because that's a nice round 5% under. So hopefully we can keep on trucking in that direction. Our revenues, we've got 5 months on the books, and at 5 months on the books, we should be at 41% revenues reimbursed or expenses reimbursed. We have inched above to 42%. So we have recouped some of that energy cost that we talked about last meeting. We write those checks and we pay those bills and then the revenues come later. So we saw some of that come in. So we're happy about that, right? So as we head on the rest of the year, we should continue to trend at or around right on budget. So we went through, also DSS went through, part of DSS goes through that big federal audit that the county does. And it appears as if we did okay. My stuff was looked at. I think you guys will hear about that at, I think, the next Board of Commissioner meeting. But so that's one milestone down for this year. Happy to, we're a little bit late because of the things that we've endured as a county with our systems and stuff like that. But that feels good to me. So the next thing on my books is a fiscal monitoring that I face every year. And they had stopped doing this when we faced the hurricane. They had kind of paused it because Mitchell County was hit so bad. So they have restarted those again. And on February 28th, we have our little guy coming in. He will be looking at all of our stuff. He concentrates mostly on the 1571 that I do. And that is where I claim county costs back to the state and federal government for reimbursement back into the county that generates those revenues that we just talked about. So the next thing is we have a budget amendment coming your way also, I think, at the next meeting. And in that, there's nothing major. I didn't move a lot of money around. What you're gonna see is those energy accounts changed. Wendy mentioned those allocations changed. So we've got to make the budget match those. So that's the gist of the budget amendment that's coming up. The rest of the accounts I'm watching, it's kind of early to get a feel of where we're gonna land this end of this fiscal year. So I'm watching with a watchful eye with Wendy's. Or vice versa, baby. Any questions around the finances tonight? Thank you, guys.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, guys. Well, item 10 is our board comment, and I'll start down here with you, Dale. Do you have any board comments now?
Oh, sure don't. Thanks. Again, we're affecting all do, especially during the all this hard cold weather. It's good to know that people have a place to go. You know, we just think you never know. We were lucky that we didn't have a lot of power outages, so if you would have had them, you would have probably had a full house. But thank you for being there.
Yeah.
I'll echo that, thank you for the commitment. It's hard enough to be away from your own family. But you got stuff going on at your house also, so that's a huge commitment. I'm glad we didn't have to use it. But I'm glad that we were over prepared in case we had to. Great effort, everybody Ian down that, was on top of this thing, so. Turned out very good.
No comment. Sorry I'm late, but thank you all. No comment.
I'm glad you made it here with no regular tickets, so.
Thank you.
And so over the weekend, I had a board meeting in Winston-Salem with the NCACC, and they schooled us on error rate improvements. And so I was really proud to know that you guys are working extra hard for that. But I didn't fully understand it, but they said that in 2024, the error rates for the state was at like 10.25%. And now they're down to 7.05%. And they're pushing to get the error rates down to 6% because it could cost $420 million. So I understand the importance of it, and I just appreciate all the hard work that you guys have done on getting ours as low as they are. So I'm just gonna tell you guys that. If there's no more comments, then I guess we need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Thank you, Jeff. Second.
Second.
All right, thanks. All in favor? Okay. 6:07.